So we come today to talk about Passover, and we have a beautiful Seder all lined up downstairs. So we're going to be going into the whole story of Exodus and doing the Seder plates and all those things. But today, while we are here with each other and talking about this spiritual idea, one of the things that we do ask at the part of our Seder is to talk about that concept of freedom and what does that mean for us. I know here in the United States today, it's a real triggered word, right, for everybody. What does freedom mean? And there's no coincidence that we have it twice in our program, Rabbi Sachs's words, because I wanted to see, did you get it? Did you hear it? Because I'm saying it here twice, and it's been said here. And that idea of that, I'm never free if I'm hoarding. Right? We even have a show about that. People who are stuck because they're hoarding everything. But when I'm hoarding, when I'm in that's that fear, right? That fear, mine, only mine. I think that, John Lennon had it best when he talked about that. Imagine that there's no heaven. Imagine that there's no religions. Imagine that there's none of these boundaries and ways that we go about and live our lives where we constantly putting an other. You're an other because you do something different than me. You're an other because you define yourself differently. You're an other. When we are all creatures of the planet Earth, we are all brothers and sisters of the divine. We are all part of this magical, amazing, wondrous journey, this universe. We are little specks in the universe. It is so humbling to me to think about that, to think about this, how we're such a speck, and it's so tiny. And yet, we have this urge in our sense of fear to reach out and be something else, something more, see me, I'm more than a speck, I want to be more, I want to be all these things, this grasping, this reaching, and this, turmoil that's really trapping us and creating a sense of smallness and littleness that is a prison. It's a prison. Not one speck of sand on the beach thinks that it's not the whole beach. Not one drop of water in the ocean thinks that it's not the whole ocean. If we could only come to that place of true freedom, of knowing whose we are and who we belong to, and what we are truly a part of, and allow all that other stuff to be surrendered, to wash away, to come to this place where we can truly be free. I don't know if any of you saw the movie V for Vendetta. It's one of those, the white mask guy, is going around. I think it's Guy Fawkes Day or something. They're talking about that, the whole thing of it. But anyway, there's this woman that's involved in this, and it's all this military state, and everybody has to, big screens come up and you have to all do what you're told, it's a different kind of prison. And this one woman, she gets put away into the jail, and she's in the jail by herself. And it isn't until she comes to a place, I'm ruining the movie for people, but it isn't until she comes to this place where she says, no. Nobody's going to make me believe what I know in my heart to be true. I'm not afraid of anything. And once she wasn't afraid of anything, she came out of the jail because the person that was jailing her was the one that wanted her to see that we've been in prison when we hide and we run from and we don't stand in our own truth. And to me, it was just so powerful, that idea that our fears to do the next right thing, our fears to be that person. Moses, there's a burning bush before him saying, can you do this for me? And what does he say? our profound sense of littleness and judgment and incapability within ourselves. But at the same time, it holds so certainly, so absolutely, this concept of who we are in truth. And if we could just be free enough to step into that. We talked last week about that idea at the end of Ramadan and that Eid celebration of really knowing we are blessed because we put in the effort, because we need to know that. We put a lot of effort in to holding on to our fears, our judgments, who we are, what we have to do, what makes me worthy. And in our words of wisdom, we're told that we don't establish our worth. Could you imagine? What we're really doing is saying, sorry God, not what you say what I am, what I say I am. How hard that is for a parent to hear a child say, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Every parent, the first thing they want to do, right? Is tell them, yes, you can. I love you so much. You're so capable. Trust me to be here with you, to carry you, to hold you up, because that's God's response to Moses. I will be with you. And yes, there were still trials. There were still things that Moses had to do and had to accomplish. We had to step out into the desert. So even when we think we've got it, the message of this idea of freedom means that we have to continue to choose it over and over again, to choose this idea of freedom. What a gift we have in knowing that the universe has our back. And we can carry that and take it into the desert places of our lives. And yeah, we're going to stumble. Those stories about stumbling and not getting it right. Once in a while. No, God didn't do it right. Didn't get it right, so let's make a new one. Make the calf. No. Impatience. When we have patience, we have freedom. There's a Course in Miracles lesson that says, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. Oof. Yeah. We had the Jains here last week. The most peaceful, loving, the only religion that has never been involved with a war. Profound, lovely people. They're probably also, too, some of the most abundant, wealthy Indians you can find. Because they just open their arms and embrace. They're kind. And one of the lessons that they reminded us of last week was forgiveness. That when we're in a situation with somebody and it's difficult, that understanding karma and past lives and things like that, that we can stand there and ask them, please forgive me. And you don't even have to say it out loud, but in the midst of that, please forgive me. Right? I'm feeling the tension. I'm feeling like I want you to go away. You're doing something to me. No, I must have done something to you in a past life, something to somebody else, and now you're manifesting it. Please forgive me. Release me. Because right now I'm in the midst of judgment, right? I'm in the midst of pain. All these tools, all these things, I find them magical. Because they release us from tension. They release us from stress. Stress, the number one cause of death trusting in this larger plan. If I'm working on something and it's not working out, sometimes it's okay to move on. In fact, a lot of times, it's our time to move on. As we're told in Ecclesiastes, everything has its season and a time. And we have to move with it and be with it. So this Passover, this time, this season, it's important for us to look at those things and to pass them over. I wanted to share also something that we had in our reading. Those of you who have been reading our book, right? Wondrous, right? Our Richard Rohr book. And he kind of brought everybody to a difficult place, right? He was talking about, in the book, it's a daily reader, and he has something from the Hebrew Bible, and there's something from the New Testament, and each week, each day, you would kind of do that. And in this, there was this one part where he says, and I'm just going to read it for you guys. Today's reading, if I glorify myself, that glory means nothing. He says, eternal life is not self-generated. He who gives me the glory is the Father, and the very one you claim for your God. And Richard says, it is a mere verbal affirmation. And those that are condemning Jesus say, but you do not know him. And Richard says, you do not allow or trust the reflection of God's glory in yourself. And then then Jesus says, but I know him. In other words, he's saying, I allow and believe the reflection fully. Okay? And then he says, if I said I do not know him, I would be no better than a liar. Jesus is not being cruel here. He is saying that they are telling an untruth by denying their divine identity. We do know him, reflect him, and have eternal life now, but we refuse to see it. And in that sense, we are all liars. So that's out of John in the New Testament. But an idea of even being told, we're being told over and over again, and we are being shown over and over again by all of the prophets, by all of the spiritual leaders, those that we know, those who have started religions, those who just live simple, humble lives of their own and have transformed everyone around them because they lived that life of true freedom, true connection to the divine, and made that primary. So this Passover, let all your criticisms, your fears, your judgments, your worries pass over and stand firmly in the true freedom of the grace of the divine that holds us all. And know always that you and the divine are one. And so